Welcome to Lookout Mountain Community Services. This section of new hire orientation has been designed to outline and summarize basic personnel policies, your employee benefits, employee responsibilities, and general personnel practices, as well as administrative guidelines. Welcome and congratulations on becoming an active member of our organization. The Director of Human Resources is Janice Sabo. She's been with our agency since 1989. The Human Resources Office provides services to all Lookout Mountain Community Services departments in the areas of staffing, employee benefits, development and training, labor relations, employee relations, diversity, and offers additional assistance to employees when appropriate. Susan Hamby is the Benefits Coordinator for Lookout Mountain Community Services. This position handles the administration of your benefits, open enrollment, time and leave, as well as recruitment. Lookout Mountain Community Services recognizes most of the standard benefits, including medical, dental, vision, life insurance, accidental death and dismemberment, short and long-term disability, and more. Pam Thomas is the Training Coordinator for Lookout Mountain Community Services. This position plans and provides training and staff development programs to staff. This position also ensures that each new hire is processed through as required. As an employee of LMCS, you'll be held accountable for complying with all policies and procedures of the agency. While it would be impossible for employees to memorize each and every policy, it is crucial that as an employee you know where to find policy and procedures. All of the LMCS policy and procedures can be found in the company folder. If you're looking for a specific policy, you can always ask your supervisor or contact the Human Resources Department. The standards of conduct for Lookout Mountain Community Services are explained in detail during your online training, where you'll read more about conduct off the job, on-the-job conduct, outside employment, drug-free workplace, and sexual and other unlawful harassment. Each of these will be covered in detail during your online training. Normally, the agency is not concerned with an employee's conduct off the job, but there are some exceptions. If your off-duty conduct would bring discredit to the agency or have a negative effect on agency operations, this would be a legitimate concern of your employing agency. For example, a vehicle operator receives a DUI, then yes, the agency would be concerned. Lookout Mountain Community Services strives to promote the well-being of its employees, as maintained by high standards of work performance and professionalism. As an LMCS employee, you're expected to devote all of your working time to your job and to the business of the agency. All employees are expected to conduct themselves in a manner that promotes the accomplishments of LMCS goals. While it's not possible to discuss every kind of inappropriate conduct or performance, some examples of unacceptable conduct might be abuse or mistreatment or neglect of a consumer, any form of sexual contact or sexually implied behavior with a consumer, sleeping on the job, a breach of confidentiality, any willful, intentional, or threatening injury to another person, or failure to follow safe work procedures. Employees of Lookout Mountain Community Services are expected to devote their full attention to the position in which they're employed. Employees may, under certain circumstances, seek and secure employment in addition to Lookout Mountain Community Services employment, provided that the other employment does not constitute a violation of any federal or state law, rules of the State Personnel Board, or LMCS policy. In all cases, the employee's job with Lookout Mountain Community Services must be considered primary and never engage in other employment activities during work hours. Employees are expected to adhere to policies and activities designed to provide a safe workplace, discourage alcohol and drug abuse, and encourage treatment, recovery, and the return to work of those employees with such abuse problems. The unlawful manufacture, distribution, dispensation, possession of, or use of a controlled substance is prohibited and is a violation of agency policy. Harassment covers a wide range of behaviors of an offensive nature. Now, it's commonly understood as behavior intended to disturb or upset, and is characteristically repetitive. In the legal sense, it is the intentional behavior which is found threatening or disturbing. Sexual harassment refers to persistent and unwanted sexual advances, typically in the workplace, where the consequences of refusing are potentially very disadvantageous to the victim. The topic of harassment is covered in detail during your online training. Tobacco use of any kind is prohibited in all facilities either occupied or controlled by Lookout Mountain Community Services and in vehicles owned by or assigned to Lookout Mountain Community Services. Designated tobacco use areas must be outside of any LMCS facility and are not to be primary entrances or present a negative image to the public. Employees are encouraged to seek assistance for drug-related problems. Employees should contact their supervisor or human resources director for available drug counseling, rehabilitation, or employee assistance programs. An employee who notifies their supervisor or human resources director of personal use of illegal drugs may be entitled to maintain their employment. The notification must be made prior to arrest for a criminal offense or notification of a drug or alcohol test and must be in writing. Contact the Human Resources Director for more information on our EAP. Employees taking prescription medication and or over-the-counter medication which could affect their job performance or behavior should notify their supervisor. A determination regarding ability to perform job duties will be made on a case-by-case basis by the supervisor or other authorized officials. Prescription drug abuse is when someone takes a medication that was prescribed for someone else or takes their own prescription in a manner or dosage other than what was prescribed. Never take prescription medications unless you have a valid prescription. Terms and conditions of employment are covered in detail during your online orientation. The training will review the expectations on employees working when scheduled, the proper way to request and use leave, agency dress policy, and health, safety, and sanitation policies. LMCS property such as vehicles, equipment, and materials should be used for official business only. Employees found to violate this policy will be subject to immediate termination. For example, employees should never take or pick up their children from school in an agency vehicle. In order to operate a state or private vehicle while on official business at LMCS, employees must possess a valid driver's license. Disciplinary action up to and including dismissal will be taken if it's determined that employees have operated a vehicle without a valid driver's license while on official business. As a condition of employment, an employee must immediately, if possible, but in any event within 2 business days, notify the supervisor of receipt of any uniform traffic citation or any official notice directed to them from the Department of Public Safety that in any way results in points against the driver's license, or notifies the employee of holding a less than valid driving privileges driver's license. Employees cannot operate any vehicle while on agency business if the employee has 6 or more points against their driver's license or a suspended or revoked driver's license within the last 5 years for violations as indicated by the Georgia Department of Driver Services. Employees may be entitled to mileage reimbursements for mileage incurred while on travel status in their personal vehicle. This policy is covered in Essential Learning online training. Employees should never transport consumers in their personal vehicle. It is the policy of Lookout Mountain Community Services to ensure that consumers, representatives, guardians, individuals, associations, or agencies involved with the delivery or receipt of services may file complaints. Contact your Human Resources Department, Consumer Rights Representative, or Corporate Compliance Officer for more information. In support of Lookout Mountain Community Services principles, values, vision, and mission, it's the Human Resources mission to support the total operation in meeting its goals. Our mission is to develop an attitude of teamwork and quality in our day-to-day operations. Create an atmosphere which fosters challenges, fun, safety, and cleanliness. Respect team members' values, which may be different from our own. Accept responsibility for promoting ethical and legal conduct in personal and business practices. To communicate in a candid and fair manner with the diverse workforce. To provide effective human resource management by developing and implementing policies, programs, and services which contribute to the attainment of the agency and employee goals. If you have any questions or concerns, please don't hesitate to contact one of your human resource professionals.